People-pleasing. You can tell the same lie 1,000 times, but it doesn't get any more true. That's a quote from Randy Blythe. People-pleasing, creating a fake social reality. All the dishonesty that we use with the intent to promote social harmony, avoiding confrontations, controlling other people's emotions, pretending to be someone that's easy to like, and any action designed to protect ourselves socially, comes under the umbrella of people-pleasing. People-pleasing covers any form of behaviour that is done with the primary motive of making other people experience pleasurable emotions, almost always with the secondary intention of those people then connecting that happy sensation with ourselves. In other words, people-pleasing is all about being the person who makes other people feel good and is therefore likable. People-pleasing requires dishonesty, such as doing extra hours at work to impress your boss while pretending it doesn't exhaust you, telling jokes to hide that you're feeling depressed, giving someone the impression that you're listening to them intently when really you're off in your head planning for when it's your turn to speak. We tell ourselves that we engage in these forms of dishonesty to make people feel happy, and we try to persuade ourselves that giving happiness is a good reason to pretend. But if it requires dishonesty, what's really going on under the surface here? I spent most of my life desperately trying to make other people feel happy. Up until my mid-20s, I felt like there was simply no other way to live. The only alternative I could think of was to be a selfish jerk, which I had no interest in being, so I felt like I'd been left with only one option. I tried to make this work for me as best I could, grinding through self-sacrifice like a samurai bearing the burden of service to his master. I gave all I had to give, and then I gave some more. I pride myself on being nice, which meant consistently being attentive, compassionate, funny, entertaining, gentle, tolerant, respectful, easygoing, emotionally unaffected, and any other trait that had a high likelihood of making people feel comfortable. I saw being nice as my purpose, my higher calling. I firmly believed that there was no more noble way to live. I looked down on people who weren't nice like me, all those pathetic losers with their anger, confusion, sadness, and disgust, and their self-centeredness, selfishness, and apathy about the well-being of others. I placed myself high on a righteous pedestal above them all because I was good. Every time I could make someone laugh, stop someone from crying, help someone complete a task, make someone feel better about themselves, or provide advice, I reconfirmed my belief that pleasing people was the best possible use of my time and energy, and that I was a good person for doing it, even if it meant being totally fake. Nowadays, I look back on my past self with a sense of tragic empathy. How very, very wrong I was. There is nothing more selfish than people-pleasing. We convince ourselves that being nice is a sacrifice that primarily benefits others, therefore justifying any dishonesty along the way. Yet this couldn't be further from the truth. Every action taken by a people-pleaser has a single purpose: controlling other people's emotions to make yourself feel more comfortable. Underneath all the bullshit, altruistic fairy tales we tell ourselves about making other people happy, there lies a toxic darkness. We are using people for our own validation, controlling them like puppets with our subtle and devious manipulation, and, worst of all, we stray miles away from honesty and integrity, where our self-confidence resides. We tell ourselves that we're good people, but if being nice requires so much deception, emotional manipulation, and selfishness, are we really all that good? People-pleasers aren't evil, but we certainly aren't the heroes we like to think we are. In truth, we are addicted to approval. We are subconsciously driven by a warped belief system that leads us to judge, manipulate, and disable others, while feeding our own never-ending hunger for external validation. Unfortunately, this manipulative behavior increases our sense of loneliness because it prevents us from creating honest connections with others, as we'll explore in detail over the next few chapters.